What's good, y'all? Oh. So, today's video is going to be a remake, a little bit of a revisit on one of my older videos that I did on the other channel, talking about the placebo and nocebo effect, also going into like mass hysteria a little bit. Basically, the placebo effect is just this idea. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, but in case you haven't, the placebo effect is basically this thing where in clinical trials, they'll be testing a new drug to see if they can combat certain types of symptoms from diseases like cancer, etc. One of the symptoms one of the symptoms will be migraine and fatigue, and what they'll do is they'll take a group of people and they'll give them the actual clinical pill that they're trying to test out, and they'll give it to them and see how many of them actually receive beneficiary effects from the pill. And then they'll give another control group a placebo, basically a sugar pill, but they'll tell them that it's the actual pill that's supposed to help them with their migraines. And a known effect that they've studied and seen the results of is that the group that was given the sugar pill had like somewhere around a 30 to 50% usually. Now this applies to multiple groups. They've done this plenty of times with plenty of different pills, but it averages around from each different study to be about 30 to 50% of the patients who receive the placebo end up feeling and getting the exact same side effects of actually taking the pill. They report a decrease in migraine, a decrease in pain, a decrease in fatigue, whatever it might be. And this is actually one of the things why, I question the black pill and I question the ideology. Now, here's the thing. I just want to add this as a preface for some context. I 100% believe in the black pill when it comes to like 90% of the ideas that go behind it. So when it comes to how the universe works or what we are, we're essentially biological robotic mechanisms. We don't have much free will. Most things are determined. Most things are genetic. And most things are upbringing, nature, and nurture. That's just how human beings work for whatever reason. But when it comes to the actual mentality, the sort of mindset that you have, which is something that you hear a lot of people say, a lot of people talk about, they say it in some other kind of way, which I never really listen to because, again, it's this weird ethereal kind of notion that there's some kind of higher power infecting you or taking over you and giving you energy. You hear this when people say manifestation. Manifestation is just the placebo effect, but they have another name for it. It's the same thing with like delusion, like self-induced delusion. Andrew Tate's a great example of this. Andrew Tate is like some guy who he's able to manipulate himself, delude himself into believing that he's the best at everything, sort of like Donald Trump too. And this has had a positive effect on their lives, obviously. Andrew Tate is very successful. Say what you want about him, but he's extremely successful in the endeavors that he wants to be successful in. He makes a lot of money. He's got a lot of clout. He had a lot of clout, and he had like 100,000 people sign up to his Hustlers University course, and he made a lot of money off that. And he made a lot of money just living whatever life. Like he always said, he's the best fighter. He told himself that, and he ended up having quite a good kickboxing career. I think his overall record was like 82-7 or something. I don't remember exactly. You can do your own research on that, but that's not the main point of it. The main point is that for some reason, people who do seem to tell themselves a certain thing, and this is applied to, well, actually, let me go back to what I was saying. Actually, no, let me finish off here. So for some strange reason, there is an effect, right? And again, I'm somebody who I look at the results of things and I see that there is some kind of conclusion, and I ask myself, like, well, okay, I can't really deny this data. Do you know what I mean? And this is why I say that this is something that sort of perturbs me off of the black pill ideology completely. Now, again, I still believe in a lot of the ideas, especially when it comes to interrelational dynamics between people, whether that's platonic or that's romantic. I do believe in a lot of the ones and zeros. I believe most things are transactional. Again, I believe that most things are determined and that there's no God. I don't believe in there's a almighty power of the universe. If you want to, that's fine, but I just don't see any evidence for it, and I don't really believe in like ethereal magics or any kind of outer energies that are infecting us. Again, in the case of manifestation, which some people believe in. Like, I don't believe in rubbing crystal balls together, but there does seem to be a kind of connection there, right, between the mind and the body. And when you perform, now this is very important to keep in mind, for some reason you can't just tell yourself something, right? You need to, number one, actually believe it. So you sort of need to be lied to, so that way you believe the lie that you're being told. That's why they never tell people that they're in the placebo group. They never tell people it's a sugar pill. They tell them it's the actual pill, because you actually have to believe that when you're taking the pill, it's doing something. And something happens in your mind where if you tell your body that this is going to do something, your body actually has the effects of what it would do. Again, in the case of the clinical trials, they would reduce the migraines people had, or they would reduce the pain, or the whatever it might be. So I can't deny this effect, and this is one of the things that does perturb. Again, it pushed me off of the complete black pill ideology, and it's one of the reasons why I say not to give in to despair, because it seems that for some strange reason, when you do believe something, or when you do something, and you believe that the effect of you doing something, you believe that the effect that it's going to have is real. So, for example, when you go to the gym, right, there's this strange connection, right? There has to be a ritual, is what I did for my research. I read this off Harvard Health when I was researching the placebo pill. Now, I highly recommend you guys do your own research, but again, this is what I read from Harvard Health. There has to be a ritual connected, hence taking of the pill. That's the ritual. That's also why I understand why religion works. Now, again, I don't believe in religion, but I do believe that it works, because religion is its own How about you speak, Chooch? Figure out, use your tongue, right? Connect it to your mouth and speak properly. I'm sorry for the stuttering. Jesus Christ. I had a little bit too much coffee today. I'm on a strict diet, but regardless. There seems to be some kind of connection. Again, when you do a ritual and you tell yourself that it's doing something, in the case of, again, manifestation or rubbing a crystal ball or rubbing crystals together or taking a pill and believing it's going to do something, or in the case of religion, when it comes to doing a prayer, there seems to be some strange connection where if you really believe that this prayer, this pill, this rubbing of the crystals is going to do something, your brain is actually going to tell your body that this is doing something, and your body is going to believe it, and your body is going to act in a certain way that is going to make it better. It's going to give you the symptoms of whatever it is that you're telling yourself is going to happen, right? So if you believe that by, rubbing these crystals together, if you believe that by praying to God that your family member is going to get better, or if your family member themselves is sick and they believe that praying to God is going to make them feel better, your brain is going to start sending feel-good chemicals. It's going to release endorphins. It's going to release dopamine, serotonin, these kind of feel-good chemicals through your neural system. And your body is going to follow the mind in this strange way. Now, there's not a lot of research done. We don't exactly know. I couldn't find any research as to why exactly this happens, or what the exact effects of the placebo effect are, or how it's even created. Nobody knows the origin of the placebo effect. Nobody knows exactly where in the mind, whether it's the prefrontal cortex or the hypothalamus or the dorsal fins, or it's dorsal something in your brain, but you get the point. They haven't been able to pinpoint what part of your brain actually connects to this placebo effect and forces your body or gauges your body towards this certain direction of feeling good. We just know that for some reason, whenever there's a ritual connected and you believe that this ritual connected to the outcome that you're trying to get of feeling better in whatever way that is, your body's actually going to believe it. Now, this is the same thing in like regular day life. Like, people believe that exercise, because exercise is a ritual, eating healthy is a ritual, dieting is a ritual, studying is a ritual. When you truly believe that these things are going to make your life better, and when you believe that doing these things are going to make your life better, again, in the case of the placebo effect, taking this pill is going to make your life better in the case of clinical trials. And it's the same thing with prayer. You believe that prayer is going to make your life better, and for some reason, your mind tells your body this, and your body actually believes this, and so your body starts to release feel-good chemicals because you believe that it's working. That's the thing that I can't get past. Now, again, the thing with the black pill is it's all about truth, but for some reason, this delusion can actually force you to believe it's true, and it can have positive effects on your body and the mind. Now, there's another example that I used in my other video where I talked about this, of the case of mass hysteria, and this is sort of the reverse of the placebo effect. That's called a nocebo effect. I'll get into that later, and that's where I'm going to talk about how I sort of pushed away from the black pill. I'm sure you guys know it. Like, one of my recent videos is called I'm Leaving the Black Pill and I'm Joining the Chooch Pill, me being Chooch, and I'm taking my own pill, so to speak. But that was a little bit of, just rhetorical. It was a little bit satirical. Obviously, I'm not creating my own pill, but you get the point. Just a little jokey joke. But anyway, in the case of mass hysteria, this is a common phenomenon that, again, scientists have no real answer for, but somebody will say something, for example, like the teacher will say there's been an out leak of gas in the building, and these are the symptoms that you'll get if the gas enters your body, and you might get a little sick, so just be on the lookout for that. And in one case that I remember, the gas was like, it smelled like eggs, and then you'd start being nauseous, and then you'd get a fever, and then you'd start vomiting. These were the symptoms that came along with the quote-unquote gas leak. And apparently one of these students, it was a school I believe this happened in, one of the students actually started saying they smelled eggs. And then about 5 minutes later, the rest of the students started saying they smelled eggs too. And so then the teacher started to slowly evacuate the class, and they went into the principal's office. Once they got to the principal's office, one of the students got nauseous. One of the students started sweating. Then the rest of the students started sweating, and the rest of the students got nauseous. And then they all started throwing up eventually. It was just this snowball effect of everybody believing that there was a gas leak, and then their minds are again telling their bodies, it's like, look, there's something toxic in the air, and we need to do to get it out of us. And one of the things that your body's going to do is to quite literally release the whatever toxin it is, right? This is why people throw up when they drink too much alcohol. This is why people throw up when they get food poisoning, because when you get sick, typically your body, how it works is your body knows you're sick before you do. You don't know you're sick until you start showing symptoms. So you don't know you have a kind of virus until you get a fever. You don't know you have the cold until you have a stuffy nose and a runny nose. All these symptoms are your body's sort of reaction to whatever this virus, whatever this outside mechanism is that's having an effect on your body. All these symptoms that you have that you naturally get, it's a way of your body trying to get rid of whatever sickness is affecting it, right? That's what it is. Again, first thing that your body does when it feels there's something in your stomach, a stomach flu, food poisoning, alcohol poisoning, etc., when there's some kind of outside negative factor that's entered into your body, whatever part of the body that it's entered into, well, number one, if it's a virus, the body's going to send antibodies, and then that's when you get the fever because your body's quite literally working a little harder, and so that's going to heat you up. And also, it's the same case when it comes to, again, food poisoning or whatever. If there's something in your stomach that's causing it, it's going to start throwing up all the contents in your stomach to try and get it out of there. And so when it comes to the cases of the placebo, the nocebo effect, mass hysteria, for some strange reason, the body and the mind, they do have this connection. And how you think, in a lot of cases, connected to a ritual, when it's connected to a ritual, the idea that this ritual, you doing this ritual, is going to have a positive effect on you when that's in your mind, when you're thinking that, when you're believing that genuinely, it does actually have that positive effect or whatever effect it's supposed to have on the body. Now, again, that's in the case of placebo, it's going to have a positive effect. And in the case of nocebo, it's going to have a negative effect. Now, this is where the black pill comes in, because a lot of people will say this, and I don't actually disagree, but they sort of take this high road, which makes me just not even take them too seriously. But I do agree that having this kind of negative mindset, having a despair mindset, isn't good, which is why I always tell all my subscribers, I've said this for months and months, ever since I started the channel, you need to try your best not to fall into despair. I did it. I was in despair for years of my life. I was a NEET. I did absolutely nothing. I literally did nothing but bed rot for years, man, years. Worst decision of my life, by the way. But I just genuinely believed that nothing mattered. I had a real, like, full-on nihilist mindset, a full-on NEET mindset where I didn't care. I pretty much hated everything. I hated people. I was very misanthropic. I just didn't like anything. I thought the world was worthless. I thought everything, like, I genuinely had these negative beliefs, and I genuinely believed them. And that had an effect on my body, too. I didn't want to go out anywhere. I just laid in bed, like I said. My mind did have an effect on my body, and it was releasing a bunch of cortisol, a bunch of stress hormones, a bunch of norepinephrine. All of these are stress and stress hormones, essentially negative emotions. And so your body does follow your mind to an extent, and your mind does have an effect on your body, and I 100% agree with that. But the issue is, and this is where a lot of people don't get it, is for a lot of us black pillars especially, it's very, very difficult to delude ourselves into thinking everything is good when we know that it isn't. This is the issue with a lot of people who are black pilled, is when you look at the world and you look at it for all of its moving parts and pieces, and you look at everything in its entirety from the beginning of our human history to right now where we are, it's very, very difficult. And you know all the science behind how our world works, how the universe works, how we are as organisms, how we are as organisms. It's very, very difficult to have this sort of, happy-go-lucky mindset, especially for me. Now, I've tried my best, I go to the gym not because I believe that it's going to make my life better. I go to the gym because I know the results I'm going to get out of it are the results that I want, right? So I like going to the gym because I like having muscles. I like that feeling of just being a little bit bigger and having some actual weight on me, having some strength on me. It makes me feel just better. I like lifting heavy things. It makes me feel good, right? But I don't delude myself into thinking the gym is going to make me feel good, because I know that's not the case. The gym actually sucks. I hate going to the gym, but I love the results. That's the thing, right? I can't lie to myself when it comes to dieting. I hate dieting. I do it because I want the results. I hate going to the gym. I do it because I want the results. That's the issue for me, is I can't delude myself into this to the level that a lot of people do, where everything that I do is going to have some kind of beneficial effect for me. It's going to get me a result that I want, but that's pretty much it. Again, in my mindset, I look at things from a perspective of ones and zeros. But again, I do understand that having the completely negative mindset of everything is despair, everything is awful, everything's always going to be awful, is not going to help you. Even if everything is awful, there's still something that I want from life, and I'm going to try my best to go through the awful parts of life to get what it is that I want out of it, to hopefully make my life, the hell that I go through in my life and the hell that you guys go through in your life, worth living, right? It's one thing to go through hell. It's another thing to have no reason to go through hell or have no reward waiting for you at the end. I think a lot of people would be more than happy to go through hell if it means something that they want is waiting at the end of it, right? But again, there's no guarantees in life, right? When you think in a true, it's hard to separate the beliefs from the truth, for me specifically, and I'm sure for a lot of us. We sort of look at the world and we know that most things aren't going to go our way, and so we ask ourselves, what's the point? What's the point of suffering? But the thing is, you're going to suffer regardless, and maybe through the placebo effect, maybe through actually believing, if any of you guys can, and this is sort of more so for you guys now. Again, I do this as a sort of research perspective to try and enlighten myself on how the world works and on all areas, right? I'm not an ideologue, and I'm not somebody who's stuck to any one idea. Like I told you guys, I made a video. This is my first video I made on this channel specifically, was my journey from blue pill to red pill to black pill. I have no problem changing my ideas depending on the evidence that I'm given in front of me. I have absolutely no problem doing that. And when it comes to the case of the placebo, the nocebo effect, mass hysteria, when it comes to these make me stop and think. It's, again, one of the reasons why I sort of shifted slowly away from the black pill. Now, again, I do truly believe in a lot of the black pill ideas and that they're true. But I also know that this is true. I know that the placebo effect, I know that your mind having an effect on your body, I know this is true too. The only issue that I come across and I can't find a solution for, maybe I'll defer to you guys on this, you tell me what you think. I find it very hard because, again, you have to have a ritual connected to it. So you have to take a pill, or you have to pray, or do one of these things, and you have to actually believe it. Again, I can't actually believe that there is a God. I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't actually believe that the gym is going to change my life completely and I should feel really, really good just because I lift weights for 30 minutes, because I know that's not true. I know what the gym is for. The gym is to suffer for 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe more, depending on what you're doing. And it's all for results that you're going to get. And the results are what's going to make me happy, right? That's how I think. I can't really get past that. But the placebo effect isn't about you being happy about the results. The placebo effect is about being happy about what you're doing, which is going to get you the results. So the placebo effect gives you positive emotion when you're doing the thing and a little bit afterwards. But for me, I'm only going to get the positive effect in my mindset once I actually get the results, if that makes sense. But again, I can't delude myself out of that. And that's why, again, I'll say the placebo effect is real, but I can't lie to myself to that extent. I can't really believe in these things. I just can't do it. Again, I can't believe that me praying to God is going to make my life better. I can't really believe that me going to the gym is going to immediately make my life better. I know it's going to take years and years of a lot of effort. I know that me dieting every day, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get skinny instantly. I know it's going to take months and months because I've done it before. I'm aware of the realities of life, which is why I find it very, very difficult for me to ever try and sort of self-delude myself or give myself a placebo effect, right? There's a reason why you have doctors who give it to the patients, and the doctors are the ones who know all the information, and the patients essentially are lied to, right? This is also a reason why people talk about white lies. A white lie isn't going to hurt somebody. If they believe something, they're going to feel better believing it. It's when they know the truth that they feel in pain. This is why you see a lot of people lie about certain things or say to themselves, well, the less that he knows or the less that she knows, the less angry she'll be about it and she won't be in pain. But for me, again, it's just one of these things where I personally can't bring myself to believe in something that I know isn't true. And again, that's sort of the case when it comes to the gym or eating healthy. I know it's not actually doing the thing that's going to make me happy. I know that me doing the thing is not really going to give me any results. I only know that the results I get after I do the thing for years or months, that's when it's going to get me the result. But that can't take me through the months and years happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't be happy when a bunch of other shit is going wrong in my life, but I'm still going to the gym and I'm still eating healthy, or I'm still going on my diet, or whatever else it might be. I'm going on long walks and the long walks is going to make me feel better. I can't believe that, right? There's just I don't there's no realistic way that me going to the gym for 30 minutes to an hour and a half, whatever it might be, or me going on a walk or me talking to people is actually going to make me feel better, because I have personal experiences that speak to otherwise. And for me to not acknowledge those personal experiences would just be stupid, right? When you do something, or when something happens to you in the past and your body has a certain reaction to it, you're going to remember it, and the memories are usually tied to certain emotions. When you have good memories, those are tied to, again, positive chemicals, endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, etc. And if you've been in a relationship, sometimes oxytocin, which is love, or it's one part of love. And again, when it comes to negative memories, bad memories, you're going to get negative chemical releases. So you're going to get norepinephrine and you're going to get cortisol. These are stress hormones. And so this is how these things, like for me, I can't look back at my friendships because I didn't really have much good ones. I don't have a placebo effect connected to most of my memories when it comes to dealing with people. I have a nocebo effect. That's one of the things I talk about on the channel all the time, is the reasons why I'm alone, the reasons why I don't have any friends is because I truly believe, and this is where maybe this is a placebo effect for me. I truly believe that being alone is the best option for me. I'm not saying everybody else is the villain. I've done plenty of bad things in my life, and one of the reasons that I don't have friends is because I know I've done bad things. I know I have a lot of problems, and for me to put that on other people, that's not fair to them. They already have their own problems to deal with, and I'm right now in my life, I have pretty much nothing but problems. I have a lot of work to do mentally, physically, financially. I have a lot of things that I have to do, and me going into any friendships or any relationships, romantic or platonic, like I said again, it's not really fair to the other person for them to have to deal with my mess when they have their own to deal with. And so for me, the most sensible thing that I can do, the thing that makes most sense to me, is for me to stay alone and build myself up and try my best to stave off my past, addictions and stave off the temptations of life on my own, because it's just easier for me. And again, friends come with a lot of risks, friends, family, relationships, they come with a lot of risks that I can't afford right now in the position that I'm in life. Now, if you guys can afford these risks, I 100% go for it, because if you can find some good friends, they do make your life better. I'll give you guys an example, man. Yesterday, when we were on the Discord call, me and like close to 10 of my subs, people who watch the channel, and a few other guys who maybe don't watch the channel, they were just in the Discord. We had a really good fucking conversation, man. I actually really enjoyed that conversation. Having that conversation was probably one of the few times in, like, I'm talking years, and I genuinely mean this, one of the first time in years that I actually felt like somewhat at peace, content with my life, right? We were just sitting there talking about stuff. Now, we had some arguments, some people had some arguments, but it was pretty good, at the end of the day. None of us really held any grudges, at least I hope not. I left the Discord a little earlier, but none of us held any grudges. None of us had any really bad arguments to the point where we were screaming at each other or insulting each other. We just had a genuinely good conversation for a good few hours, and that was one of the first times. And it reminded me, right? It reminded me of the good memories that I used to have too. But for me in my life, it's very easy for me to give in to the nocebo effect. It's very easy for me to give in to the negative. And so it's only fair on everybody else and for myself to just deal with my own issues for now. And once I've dealt with them, maybe I can look into having some kind of friendships. And maybe once I'm a little bit better positioned in life and I believe that people are going to treat me better, because, and again, this is where I'm Blackpill, right? I need to look better for people to treat me better. I need to have a better job for people to treat me better. This is just true when it comes to people. People are very superficial. They're very shallow, in my opinion. And this is just, again, what I've noticed from my own experiences. You do have to look and act and speak and be a certain way for people to actually accept you and respect you. And you don't want to be in relationships where people are disrespecting you. So this is sort of the position that I'm stuck in, is I can't delude myself into thinking all friendships are great. I can't delude myself into thinking all relationships are great. I know that most of them are pretty terrible, or at the very least, they're not too good. They take a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of it might not be worth it. When it comes to these things, I can't really, again, I just can't lie to myself and tell myself that these things are going to make my life better, or same case with the gym, because I've done it for years. I've gone to the gym before. It didn't really make my life better. I've lost the weight. It didn't really make my life better. I built some muscle. It didn't really make my life better. I've made some money. I've saved some money. It didn't really make my life better. And I've gotten rid of my acne before. It didn't really make my life better. I've done plenty of things that you're supposed to do, plenty of rituals connected to the placebo effect that I genuinely believed at the time, when I was like 16, 17, 18, that I believed were going to make my life better, closer to 15 too, basically my high school years. There was plenty of stuff that I did that at the time I believed was going to make my life better. And I do remember the placebo effect at that time. I believe this was a reason I was able to starve myself back in the day to lose all the weight, was because I genuinely believed that if I lost this weight, I would be able to have a relationship, right? I genuinely believed that. And so it was very easy for me to go on the harsh diet that I was on, to essentially starve myself and only eat once a week. And when I did eat, it was just a steak and salad, or it was chicken salad, something like that. That was very, very difficult to do. But again, the belief that I had connected to it was what was helping me to keep pushing. But now, after I've experienced what I've experienced, again, I can't really believe that myself. I just can't believe that anymore. Same thing when it comes to any sort of other things that I want. Now, don't get me wrong, my entire life hasn't been dedicated to the pursuit of a relationship. There's plenty of things that I wanted way before I was in a relationship. I told you guys this on the channel before. I've wanted to do YouTube since I was 12. That was the first thing I've ever wanted to do, only thing that I've ever wanted to do. And when I realized that I couldn't really do it because of, again, the environment that I was in, my parents didn't want me to do it. Fair enough on them, because it's a very risky business. It's very luck-based. I wasn't able to do it, and that made me extremely depressed. That's sort of one of the things that I was never able to achieve my dream. Now, at the time, I believed I would, but slowly, reality showed me that that wouldn't be possible, at least at that time. Maybe I'll get lucky, but I highly doubt it. Now, this is just more of a cope. I have other purposes in my life, other things that I want, and I'm going for those, hoping that those are going to make my life better. I do have a dream, man. This is one dream that I am looking forward to, which has helped me out a little. Now, I know I've sort of gone off the beaten path. I'm going to end it here, but I'm just going to say this one thing. There is one dream that I have, and the one dream that I have is I really, really want to see the stars without any light pollution, right? I want to see the Andromeda Galaxy. I want to be able to look up at a clear night sky where I can see everything, right? Like I can see the world and I can see the universe and all its mysteries just completely unfettered by any light or pollution or any darkness of the night. Because where I'm at right now, you never see stars, right? There's just too much. There's too much light pollution. I live close to a city. I live close to multiple cities, and so that affects the night sky and you can't really see anything. But one day I would love to see the northern lights. One day I would love to see the stars and the night sky in clear view without anything getting in the way. And that's one of the dreams that I'm focusing on now. I really hope that one day, even if it takes me till I'm 35, I hope that one day I can have a house where I can go out to the backyard or whatever and I can see the light sky in perfectly clear capacity. That's like the one purpose that I'm working on right now in my life, because I would absolutely love to see that. And that's something that is giving me a tiny bit of a placebo effect, because I've never had an experience of seeing the night sky. I've never had the experience of trying to either. And so this one thing that I haven't tried yet, this is what I'm going for. That's like one of the dreams that I have, one of the bucket list items. Pretty much the number one is to be able to see the night sky in its clearest capacity, and to hopefully be able to one day see the northern lights in Norway or Iceland, wherever they are. I don't really remember, but that's basically what I'm aiming for now. That's my purpose. My purpose, like, I know I talk about relationships a lot on this channel, but the reason I talk about it is because I think we can all relate to it, especially a lot of us guys. With the Voldemorts, it's much easier for them. But with us, it's very difficult because we have to sort of prove ourselves to be able to get into a relationship, which is completely fair enough. But relationships are just one part of it. It's not my obsession in any capacity. It's something that'd be nice to have, just like, it'd be nice to have some soda with my sandwich or something, but it's not necessary. But it is something that I miss out on. That's why I talk about it a lot. But again, it's not my obsession in life. It's not the one thing that I want. The one thing that I want really, really is what I said earlier, to see the northern lights and to see the night sky in clear view without any light pollution getting in the way of it. And so, man, I mean, that's my placebo for now. But I highly recommend that you guys do some research into the placebo effect. And again, I tell you guys on this channel all the time, never to fall into despair, because one, I did it and it got me absolutely nowhere except deeper into the shithole that I'm in right now. And I don't blame myself. I know a lot of you guys, this isn't about pity, right? This is about trying to, hopefully, a lot of you guys are younger, and I really, really want you. Number one, I don't want any pity. Your pity does nothing for me. This is to all the normies out there, to haters, or to anybody. I don't need your pity. I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do. I'm on the right track. This is more so me sharing my experiences, trying to be vulnerable with you guys, and trying to teach you guys what I've also been learning along the way, because a lot of you guys are younger. A lot of you guys have a chance. And if I can hopefully help you guys with some of these videos, maybe it's to help you cope, or maybe it's to give you some hope, or maybe it's to show you a better way of living life, or maybe it's to you learning from my mistakes that I talk about, so hopefully you guys don't make them too. Hopefully you guys can live a better life through my mistakes, and hopefully that'll make my mistakes worth something. Maybe it'll make my life worth something, and that'll be something good for me. That's the reason why I like to share these videos with you guys. It's why I like to talk about everything. It's why I'm not afraid. Even though I get a lot of shit from a lot of people, a lot of trolls, a lot of haters. I get a lot of shit, right? And a lot of those comments are banned because YouTube shadow bans them, because they say some very not nice things. I get called an inkwell 24/7. I get called pathetic. I get called a loser. I get called everything in the comment section. But I don't really care. I'll keep being honest with you guys, because it's not about the haters. It's about you guys. The guys who you do have some potential, the guys who do have some kind of hope in life left, right? I'm 25. For me, like, when it comes to relationships, I said this before, I'm pretty much cooked, but you guys still have a chance, man, and I hope you guys can make good on that chance, and I hope some of the things that I'm teaching you and telling you about, I hope you guys can learn from it. I hope it can make your life better, and I hope you can have some of the things that I couldn't have, right? That's like the one thing I have left in life, is seeing the northern lights, seeing the stars at night without any thing getting in the way, and hopefully maybe a few of you guys saying that something that you learned from me actually made your life better and it made you think better. That would be awesome. And so that's the main reason that I talk about these things and share these videos and do the research that I do, is because I want you guys to really live a good life if it's possible. Now, I know a lot of us probably won't, and maybe this is just a good cope, and that'll work enough, but I really do hope, if there's one thing that I hope for all of you guys, is that you can live a good life, and hopefully a better life than me, and hopefully, again, through my mistakes you can learn something, or through what I'm learning myself you can learn something as well. All right, y'all, I'm out.